my rant is about the hip drop tackles.
Yeah.
I want to know what the difference in the suspensions are for these hip drop tackles.
See, I agree with you, and we're looking at the one of Lockie Galvin, where I think that is a deliberate and bad hip drop, where he's taken all his weight and he pulls it down and he gets a fine.
He got a $2,000 fine for that, Jace.
Whereas the other players are spending time.
And he's right on the ankle.
Yeah, he was, mate. Like,
lands.
the way he did it is a classic hip drop, but it doesn't happen. Whereas Mitch Kenny, I thought that was a hard...
He didn't even... Like, if you look at the Mitch Kenny one, right?
Like, he turns his body to the side.
That's his torso.
Yeah, but he still turns his body. But Galvin literally takes his feet off the ground, rides him, and pulls it down onto his ankles.
I've slayed that. All right, so this is the first one on the top.
Is the Dragons where
left-hand corner.
Hopgood's done for the season.
Done for the season. And
man,
that guy's name
Couchman.
is Couchman, right? Or Mr. Ryan Couchman. Now, live, that didn't look that bad, but the way when I slow this down...
It's bad. That's one of the worst I've seen,
That's a bad hip drop.
It is a bad hip drop.
But he did his knee, not his ankle.
Yeah, but again, he did it in that
But he
tackle.
landed on the back of his foot, sort of halfway up his calf, right? But the action... I want to take... If we could look at the action, right? His action and the action of kick out is exactly the same. If you look at those two tackles, they're exactly the same, Jace. They're exactly the same. Mitch Kenny got 2 weeks.
But Galvin gets off.
But there's nothing. I actually don't even know if that's a hip drop.
I agree. Mitch Kenny, I thought, was harshly dealt with. I'm just watching Kickow. So Kickow's got him, and then he takes all his body off, and that's a bad one.
That's a bad one. He got a $1,000 fine. So and then if you look at Galvin.
Sorry, I don't mean to talk over you. Are they doing it because of the injury sustained? Does that factor into it?
I don't think it should matter.
But are they, is what I'm saying.
Well, I think Couchman deserved to get 4 weeks for that.
But are they factoring that? Is that a factor that the NRL are taking into is the injury?
Well, I'm going back to my point that I think it comes down to the player.
I don't know.
Galvin's a bigger name. Kickow's a bigger name than
Couchman.
Because
I look at those.
Mitch
so
Kenny.
The two where they were suspended, Couchman and Kenny, both those players are now missing for multiple weeks. In Hopgood's case, he's gone for the season.
Yep.
And Iongi's gone for, they reckon, up to 8 weeks, right?
Right.
So that's bad. Whereas the other two that the Kickow and Galvin have done, there's no injury there.
But no one went in the bin either.
Yeah, I know. They did.
So there's hit drop tackles of blokes that I personally think Galvin's is the worst.
I agree. The way Galvin does it is a classic hip drop where he takes his...
He's riding him
and then pulls him down and pulls his hips down.
And lands on his back of his ankle.
I agree.
And then the other one is the kick out one's exactly the same as the Couchman tackle. And the one that I think's the least tackle, he got 2 weeks and sent to the Simbi.
I didn't even think he should have been binned.
I just don't understand it. I don't understand.
No, I agree. I don't.
A hip drop's a hip drop. Like they talk about twisting and where they put their hips and all that sort of stuff. If you leave your feet and fall on the back of a bloke's legs, that's a hip drop. You're gone. You're in the sin bin.
I agree.
The Galvin one, he rode him like a horse.
Yes.
And then swung his legs. You watch him swing his legs here.
I'm watching it.
He's swinging that legs
and just
forward.
Just for people at home too, we will be putting this on the gram so you can see.
Yeah, well, it'll be
up there.
Front and centre on the recording.
Yeah, that's right. That's how technical we are. I'll do it all later tonight. It'll be awesome.
You will, Jace. But can you explain to me how two blokes got no sin bin and no suspension, and two blokes got...
The only thing I've said to you, which I think is my explanation, is what I think is that there were no injuries.
But injuries shouldn't play a part in that.
I'm not saying it does. I'm just telling you
why. Well, I think it's two things. I think you're right with the injuries, and I said the other one is your profile in the game. I'm telling you, there is a mandate from the NRL not to put...
I think it's a mandate not to suspend any Bulldogs players because they're just out there just killing.
Well, how did they not go in the bin?
Oh,
isn't a hit drop an instant sin bin?
I think Newcastle would have asked the ref not to send him to the bin because he was helping them massively. They said, "Sir, please don't send Galvin to the bin. He's our best player."
Agreed. But I'll put this up and put it on replay, right, while we talk about it. But anyone can tell me the difference between these tackles and
I can't. I can't.
And why all of them didn't end up in the bin, and why one bloke got 4 weeks because the bloke's gone for the year, the other bloke gets 2 weeks because of his injuries for 8 weeks.
I
don't understand how the other two, and like take away the judiciary. Can you say that?
The judiciary.
Take that away, right, from this argument on the field. How did the bunker let them both stay on the field?
I don't know. I wish I knew.
Right, because the Galvin one's the worst one of the lot. Because he swung himself forward.
He rode him.
He
and
rode
just pulled down.
Swing. You watch him swing his legs forward.
Yeah, and he pulls down, drags his legs forward, and drops on his ankle. I agree.
And the kick out ones are the same, where he basically is the same tackle as Couchman. The only one that's is that he's not really swinging, and it's his upper torso that's landing on the back of his feet. So I don't get it.
No, me neither.
So we both agree.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a great rant. I like when we argue.
No, I think you're right.
Okay. Well, I don't like that.